Welcome to the Talk and Chatter experience powered by Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson. Today's guest is proud family man and someone I can't really give a title to. You, someone that lives their life to the fullest and has done so many things. Welcome, Matt Mingay.
Thanks, mate. Glad to be here.
Hey, thank you so much for coming up. Shout out to Emma McFerrin to reaching out to you as well. That was huge. So, yeah, who's Matt Mingay?
Wow, big question. Well, Matt Mingay's, I started off as a stunt rider. I've been doing it for 24 years now, and I was a bike mechanic, and I got the call up to do stunt riding.
Yeah.
And a very hard slog to start off with because there was no one else in Australia doing what I did at all. And I was back when VHS was around, no DVDs, and there was no lessons learned on how to stunt ride. So it was very much trial and error.
Yeah.
Usually way too much error, but yeah, certainly learned the hard way.
So you started on a KR1 Kawasaki basically.
Yeah, good memory.
Pretty cool machine.
Yeah, I started on KR1 250 and a little CB100.
Wow.
CB100, I got my learner's permit when I was 16 and a half.
Yeah.
And I could wheelstand it when I was 17. I wheelstood it down the highway for 9 kilometres.
Seriously?
At the same time, I got done by the cops.
This is at 17?
Yeah, 17.
Wow. Mate, that's probably a mission on one of those.
Yeah, it was. Well, that's what I knew how to do wheelstands on.
Yeah.
Just wheelstood for miles. You used to go around roundabouts and corners and everything.
Wow. Were you a terror like on BMX and that stuff as well?
Oh, absolutely, mate. I was born and bred on one wheel, and all through my teenage years and high school years, I rode on BMX everywhere on one wheel.
Wow, mate. I was speaking to one of my good friends on Friday night. We did our apprenticeships and everything around this area, and we're in Springwood. Do you remember the days of mucking around here? Probably the late 90s, early 2000s.
I certainly do, mate. Depends. Are the cops listening?
Probably not. I doubt it, but it's so far gone. It's probably not an issue.
I know.
This place was Slacks Creek was quite a place back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Eh?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I used to torment the place beyond belief, and you just get chased and muck around and be silly buggers on one wheel and front wheel, back wheel, you name it, I did it.
Mate, I remember working in workshops and just seeing you guys, it was yourself and Robbie, and yeah, some pretty good times, I must say. So.
Oh, Bulger, mate, he's a cracker. That's enjoy. I'm still good friends with him.
Yep.
And he led me to destruction and to fame, I could say. He's a good guy.
What was that recipe back then for you guys? Like, you seem to just have, like, just something, a chemistry, I guess, too, hey?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. He took me under his wing when I was a bike mechanic.
Right.
And I entered a stunt competition on my KR1 250.
Yeah.
And I beat him in a wheelstand comp.
Wow.
Yeah. And from that moment, he asked me if I'd like to do stunt riding. So I took him up on his offer and got, what's the word for it? Shafted, mate. But I did, like I said, I did real tough for a good few years, doing a few shows here and there. And I think about the 4th year mark, I got the job to do Mission Impossible 2.
Yeah.
And kind of broke away from Robbie a fair bit. Still good friends with him. We joined as a Donor King stunt team after that.
Mm.
And that's when we got car sponsorship by Holden and started doing drifting. And I was far out. I think it was 18 years ago. So it was a fair while ago.
A lot of water under that bridge, eh?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
The going to the cars, like, were you a car person?
Yeah, I was a car person,
Yeah.
or more so a motorbike person, but yeah, I always had cars from the age of very young, and used to have a little Gemini, a lock diff, new donuts and slides everywhere, and you got the Holden Utes and started doing drifting, and it kind of fit in quite well.
That like the displays and been to a lot of them through the years. The Holden Ute thing, that was huge for a lot of time, hey?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We dominated the whole scene for many years around the whole of Australia. We were contracted by VS Supercars to do every round of VS Supercars, and Holden transported them around for us everywhere. So we did drift demos at every round all over Australia. So for many years until Holden went belly up.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
that's a big shame. That.
Yeah, it was.
The what was Robbie on when you did the KR1 when you beat him? Was he on a Bandit or
I
something?
was on he's on a GCR 1192 model. How I remember that, I don't know.
But you're on a KR1, like probably one of the harder things to probably wheel stand, I guess.
The only reason I won it because I did a wheel stand all the way down the front straight of Lakeside and went around the corner.
Oh, really?
And he put it down on the corner, and I went around the corner, so I won it.
Wow. And was that your first proper comp at that time?
No, I won a comp about a year before it as well on my CB100.
Wow.
I did the same thing. We were still around the corner. I won that one, so I won two comps.
Yeah, right. And then it was just straight into it. That was like
virtually. I remember I worked at Brisbane Kawasaki for Phil Beaumont.
Yeah, Bowen Hills.
Yeah, that's one. And I asked for some time off to go down to do the bike Grand Prix, the MotoGP, which I got called up, which to me at the time was freaking huge. It was massive. And I got asked for time off work. He wouldn't give me time off work.
Wow.
Wouldn't give me time off work because he thought I'd kill myself doing what I do. So I quit my job. From that moment on, I've never worked again.
Are you someone that's always had like incredible self-belief?
It's more so not so much self-belief. It's more so when people can't tell me I can do something, I got to do it. It's not. My parents always told me, don't do it. My brother, my sister, everyone, my family and friends told me not to do it. I can't do it. You won't do it. And from that moment, if anyone says I can't do something, it's my effort to prove that I can do it.
Wow. And I guess that's helped you through everything in life.
Oh, absolutely.
That sort of thing.
Absolutely,
drive.
mate. Absolutely. Every drive, every world record, every time I get in a car, truck, bike, someone says you can't do that. It's the same thing. I've done a stadium super truck down at Adelaide for the first time in 2014, 13, I think, or something like that. And first time I ever raced a car ever, apart from high go-karts.
Wow.
And I thought my very first race came third. So as you can imagine, I was pretty much over the moon.
Yeah. Mate, that's huge. When that came up in the movie, and we'll get to the movie as well, but I couldn't believe you hadn't raced a car.
Nah, never.
You had such a pedigree around the sport for so long, and then it wasn't until 2013 or 14 that was the thing, eh?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Like I said, I don't think I've ever raced higher go-karts.
Yep.
I mean, I've done drift racing, but that's a different kettle of fish. That's not good racing, but I knew truck racing was for me. I love big jumps and I love sliding and drifting everywhere, which is virtually what the trucks do. So that's why I succeeded in it.
Were you a natural, from day one? Do you think you're, say on that the 100, did you feel you're a natural, or is it something that...
Not really, no. I never really felt I was a natural. I mean, I guess there's many disbeliefs to many people. Everyone thinks I'm a natural. It's more so pursuing it. More so, I say my little boy, my son, who tries to do something, he can't do it, and he gives up. And that really pisses me off. Because I tried many things for many years and I couldn't do it, and I just persisted and practiced until the sun went down every single day until I got it, and that's how I succeeded in life.
Just kept going.
Yeah, just keep going, mate. Yep. I fall off, hurt myself, or work out why I've fallen off or why I've hurt myself, and most time I didn't wait for me to heal. Just got back on the bike. Went on the bike and just did it until I got it right. Worked out what I did wrong. That's what I said with this day and age. There's lessons galore on how to stunt ride. You'll go any DVD in the world and teach you how to stunt ride, and see so many people did it back then. There was no one to watch, so I had to work it out how to do it myself.
Has the stunt scene changed much since 97, 99? Do you think?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Gee, that's pretty loud.
That's loud.
Yeah. Sorry.
100%. It changed dramatically. Back when I started, it was all fast stunts.
Yeah.
All in GCR, Suzuki GCR 1100s and Bandit 1200s and thousands, and it was all fast stunts. This day and age, it's all, I call it bike ballerina.
Wow.
Ballet, because it's all slow circle work and all. Your belly goes over 100 k's an hour. Back in the day, your belly goes over 200 k's an hour.
Wow.
So it's changed. It's changed heaps.
And I guess that technique, to see your technique over the years change as well, from those fast ones to the slow ones, must have been a bigger
Absolutely,
role.
absolutely, mate. I had no choice but to change because mainly my areas of stunting get hired to do stunt shows. You're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So for that reason, I had no choice but to go and focus more on the circle work, and so no handers and all that type of thing. I thoroughly enjoy going fast, hence me breaking a couple of world records of going fast. But yeah, I had no choice.
Yep. It just had to evolve, I guess, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
What's the when Mission Impossible came up, like that must have just taken you by somewhat surprise, I guess. Like you're an apprentice at Phil Beaumont's to being on probably at the time one of the biggest movies in the world. That must have been a pretty big deal, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought it was a prank to start with.
Yeah, I can imagine. Actually.
Hang around Bulger.
Yeah. Oh, is that where it came through?
No, I didn't go through him at all.
Yeah.
Just hang around Bulger, knew what he got up to. So I thought it might have been a prank to start with until I realised it was true.
Yep.
We got a call up to audition, and they flew me down from Brisbane down to down to Sydney, down to Eastern Creek Raceway, where they had about a dozen brand new Triumphs there. And when I got there, there was probably about 10 or 11 other guys auditioning for the part, and I arrived late. And they were just racing around there, being silly buggers, racing fast as they could, and which I knew it wasn't for me. Racing, going fast, hanging off the side of the bike wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of waited a while, waited for them to get off the track, and then got on a Triumph, which in mind I've never ridden before, brand new Triumph. And I proceeded to do wheel stands, stoppies, down dance, and I put my titanium shoes on. I went flat out about 150, 160 k's an hour, and jumped straight off the back of the bike and ski behind it, which I've never done before on this bike ever, which is, as you can imagine, is pretty hard work.
Yeah, it would be.
I had nowhere to grab and just had to wing it, just cross my heart and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And it worked perfectly. And I had the whole pit wall just cheering, going bananas for it. At that moment, I was hired, so I was pretty over the moon.
Did it happen pretty quick from there? Like once you're hired, did they start filming like production pretty quick? Or was
Yeah,
it,
I think so. I think it was about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the 3 or 4 months, they rewrote the script.
Yeah.
They had a script of a bike chase, but they realised what I could do on a bike, and so they rewrote it, which is great in my eyes. They want to do a big burnout and ski off the side of the bike and off the back of the bike, and doing a big stop here across the road, one-handed stop here, shooting oncoming cars, and which is what I could do. So that's why I did it.
Mate, that at that time must have showcased you to the world, hey?
Well, I did something to showcase to the world. I mean, Tom Cruise did all his own stunts, as you can remember.
But
I didn't play it up too much.
Yeah.
I remember going to a nightclub trying to chat up a chick.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, I'm Tom Cruise's stunt double." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever, mate." And I thought to myself, that is the stupidest line I've ever heard of.
Didn't use it again?
Never use it again, ever. But yeah, I think everybody in Australia, every promoter and event wanted to hire Tom Cruise's stunt double, so that helped me out my work wise 100%.
Yeah.
I went from doing 5 or 6 shows a year down to doing 20 a year.
Wow.
Because everyone wanted to hire. I mean, I still do events today, and they advertise Tom Cruise stunt double.
Wow.
Little do they know, it was 20 years ago.
That's right. It's a
It was a long time ago.
long time. Did that when you did, because there were speed triples in the thing.
Yep.
Was there anything that pushed you beyond, like in the movie, like not beyond your capability, but it all felt pretty comfortable, the stunts that you did?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, the stoppie scene was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Mainly because I was going up a hill and leveled out at top, and I was in winter.
Right.
And I had to do a take, and then I'd wait 10 minutes to a take, so I never got a chance to get warm.
Yep.
So quite often I just lock up, grip, lock up, grip.
Wow.
So it was very hard to do that. But in the way of scary stuff, nothing was scary. Nothing was over the edge for sure. The only issue I had, I think, was skiing off the side of the bike.
Yeah.
We did that scene for 1 week.
One scene.
One scene for 1 week, and I got cramps in my legs from jumping off every different camera angle imaginable.
Wow.
And I went to do it for a week.
Did you run out of titanium?
No, I was pretty good actually.
Wow, mate, that's and we'll get to your movie as well, but that's something people don't understand with film. Hey.
The bigger the film is, the longer it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've done plenty of short films, and the short films only go for a very, very short amount of time. But the bigger the film, the more money they got to spend, so more takes to do.
What I found interesting coming from your film was you saying, like, obviously you had supercars events for so many years, and you're like a proper weekend worker for ever, haven't you been?
Absolutely,
like, really?
Mate.
And if there was more time, the Hollywood thing or whatever, you would have done more of that. I found that through the movie, and I guess that really made sense because those people take you away for months, don't they? Really?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm right now. I'm doing 5 weeks straight, 5 weekends straight. Last weekend I was at Brisbane for Expo. The weekend before that was Cessnock Air Show. The weekend before that was Rockhampton Royal Show. The weekend before that was at Bathurst Supercars. And this weekend I'm at Evans Head Air Show.
Man.
So, like I said, I don't have a weekend off.
No.
I don't get them. The occasional one I do get off, I cherish it. I love it.
Yep.
And people go to me, oh, you get this weekend off? Why don't you come away and do this? I don't want to do a single thing on my weekend off.
Yeah.
I don't care what occasion it is. I don't give a rat's ass. I want to stay home, sit on the couch.
Yeah, because like literally for what are we in 2021 for 20 plus years. You've probably worked nearly every weekend of your life.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I always give myself December, January, and sometimes half of February off.
Yep.
And that's kind of restructure everything and rewrap everything and redo uniforms and just redo the whole team.
Yep.
And then come February, March through to November, we do my cut-off's 30 shows. My wife's cut-off's 25.
Wow.
This year we got 28 events locked in, and she told me we are booked out in January this year for the whole year. And she said, we got 28 events locked in for this year. I thought, oh, that's great. She said, now if you accept one more, expect a divorce.
Wow. So 28's it. Jeez. Mate, that's a lot, eh?
I know, it's a lot. So it's nearly one every weekend.
And I guess the mobility nowadays with having the truck, like you got a semi-trailer that tows your stuff. Even that, like in the past, you would have been in a van. Let's get here as quick as we can.
Yeah,
like, truck's good to have, but it's a big setup, eh?
Back in the day, I had my highest van. I chucked my GSR 1100 or Bandit 1200 in the back with a few slicks, a race suit, a helmet, and change of clothes, and off I go.
Yeah.
And I sleep in the back of the van, and I wouldn't care where I slept. And you know what I did, I just had fun doing it. And this day and age, man, it's a big setup. I got 2 people employed full time. I got my wife. She works. She's a team manager.
Yep.
And she works 7 days a week. I work 7 days a week, and we don't get much time off.
Geez, you must have tortured some high ace fans. Because you had, you're like the person that stuck with high ace fans for probably the longest day.
I do, mate. I love them. I will swear by them. Trainers are the best.
Yeah, I remember like every event there'd be like in different rap or whatever. A Mingay high ace fan. So they've been around a bit.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely. My most favourite one was the high ace van. The engine blew up, so I pulled the engine down and so Bolger did, put a Holden 308 V8 in it.
Wow.
And then I got it, and put a roll cage and race seats and locks of diff, and it was part of the show. It did massive big burnouts in it and blow tyres galore, so that was a favourite one.
Good van.
It was a good van.
Mate, as I say, seeing them around and, you know, I think, Commodore V6s for a bit, and there was a few transplants done.
Yeah, it was good, very good memory.
Yeah, well, my to take the history back, my mate did a couple of the transplants back in the in the late 90s, early 2000s as well, and we were just having a chat on Friday night, and it's cool, you know. Yeah,
we put the V6 in it for about 3 or 4 months, and I realised it was underpowered, it wouldn't do its job, so we pulled that out and put a 308 in it.
Wow.
Injected 308 SS engine, so it certainly did
the job then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you're a smart guy. Like, it seems the way the whole way through. Were you a smart guy with, like, branding? Like, you've had a brand the whole way. Like, you're with Hot Wheels now. It's like the coolest sponsorship in the world.
Not so much branding, smart guy branding. It's very. I got a manager that helps me out somewhat a heap.
Yep.
It's more so. I think brands understand how much we get out in public.
Yeah.
Like VS Supercars, for example, I think I do 12 rounds a year, 11 rounds a year. I do 27 events a year, so I get more in the public eye than anybody else in the whole of Australia.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do my cut off 30 events. So I usually do between 25 and 30 events a year. My average crowd I get in front of is 1.2 million people a year.
Wow.
So you shoot out to any potential sponsor and they go, holy shit. And I say, you try and find an athlete that's got more, gets out more, and they can't. Anybody at all. Any Australian model that is.
Yeah.
Same with my social media. Social media is 1.2 million people on my Facebook, which is the highest motorsport athlete in the whole of Australia. So I'm pretty proud of that.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it has carried through the whole time. Like you look at the relationships and stuff like, Monsters, rock stars, now Hot Wheels. Like have Hot Wheels. That's, I guess, coming from a kid, that's probably one of the biggest dreams someone could have.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I've as you said, I've gone from Monster Energy to Itachi to from Donut King to God. I'm trying to rattle them all
Obviously
off.
Harley,
Harley for 10 years.
Yep.
And I was with Jeff Potter at the time, and I said, my manager said to me, "What's a sponsor that you most love to have the most?" And I said, "Hot Wheels."
Yeah.
I said straight up, Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels is so fitting to what I do. Every time a kid gets a Hot Wheels car in their hand, they do slides, donuts, burnouts, and they jump the thing. If it's a truck, they jump it. Some of the motorbike, they do wheel stands and donuts in their hand. I said, that's exactly what I do. I said that to the Hot Wheels marketing manager, and they said, you're right, you did right, so we'll give you a shot. So they gave us a shot, and sales for Hot Wheels boomed at the time, went through the roof. And they stuck by me. So I'm with 6 years, 7 years now.
Gee, that's a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Yep.
And I've got a great relationship with Hot Wheels. Now, what we do for them is great, and what they for us is great as well. So we fit very much hand to hand. It's it's a great relationship.
Like even going to the supercars events, it's been a while since I've been because events have been a bit funny. But the like all the kids playing with you got the displays coming up beside the cars and stuff. All the kids coming up to play and stuff like that as well. It's pure engagement from both sides,
Absolutely, we call it activation. So we take ourselves in charge of every single event we do next to no events a year where we don't take a trailer for activation, and we put the big Hot Wheels track table set and put all tracks on it for kids to play with, and I have a pinball machine there for adults to play with, and there's quite a few events. Like I remember Darwin Supercars a couple of years ago. We're looking around. There were probably about every fifth kid in the whole crowd had a Hot Wheels T-shirt on.
Wow!
And that to me was an unbelievable sign where they're here to stay.
Yeah.
And even the promoter goes, "Holy moly! Every kid's got a Hot Wheels shirt on." Over Red Bull team, over Holden, over every other VS Supercar team, every kid's got a Hot Wheels shirt. So I'm pretty proud of that.
And you're same with the stunt thing stuff and that through the time. The merchandise has always been cool, eh?
Oh, mate, absolutely.
It's a big part of it, obviously.
Absolutely, a big part of it, yeah.
And coming through the movie, having the spikes on the helmet and stuff, it all blends in, doesn't it? Like you have not a strategy, it's probably just happened, over time.
Oh, it did just happen.
But
the spiky helmet was a funny story, as I said in the movie.
Yep.
I remember far out, I think it was about 2002, 2003, I had a normal helmet, and I always ran a mohawk on my head. And it wasn't until Alan Morrison said to me, "Oh, should we put spikes on your helmet?" I said, "Oh, hey, that'd be pretty funny." So I did it for Formula One, put spikes on my helmet. And everyone loved it, and I pulled them off because it was only for one event. And the next event was Adelaide 500. Mm-hmm. And I had every managed dog. It was a completely different event, 1,000 kilometres away. Every managed dog coming on, "Oh, where's the crazy dude with spiky helmet?" I'm like, "That's me." "No, the crazy dude with the spiky helmet." I'm like, "That was me. I have spikes." So they go, "Oh, okay, fair enough." They weren't impressed because the spikes were on the helmet. So from that moment on, the spikes went on the helmet, and they were there to stay. I've never, ever hopped on a sun bike ever without my spiky helmet because it's my trademark.
It's crazy, mate. Hey, I couldn't believe how, watching the movie to see how that started. I just thought, just...
It is a place in the whole of Australia. I can... Virtually not a crowd member who doesn't recognise the guy's spiky helmet. If they don't know my name, you mean the crazy dude with the spiky helmet?
Or the ute with the spikes on the back. It's just it just fits so well,
That's why my brand is Stars and Spikes.
Yeah, right.
That's why it kind of Molly just fits.
It does. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really does. How did your movie come about? Challenge Accepted, it's called for people. How did it come about?
Challenge Accepted, my doco, Mingay Challenge Accepted.
Yep.
I had every man his dog since my accident say to me, you should write a book or do a doco. I kind of played it off there or whatever, laughed it off, and next person, well, you should do a book or a doco. So I said, yeah, whatever. And I wasn't until about the 100th person
Yeah.
said, should do a book or doco. So I looked into it to do a doco. And I looked into it big time and asked quite a few people to do it, and the price I got was stupid. And wasn't all. I quite often I hired Brad Day.
Yep.
Brad Day from Defy Productions. He was a young kid. I hired him to go to Darwin Supercars, film me a clip up there, and then I hired him to do a clip for me called Dawn of the Daredevil with me and Madgy. It's on YouTube. And when he did that, I realised how professional that kid was, and how unbelievable it was, and how everyone listened to him. We had a crew there about 15 people, and at the time he was about 22 years old, I think. And he was the youngest kid in the whole place, and everyone listened to him. I couldn't believe it. And I asked him, I said, do you want to do a doco? And I had a meeting with him. He said, yeah, I'd love to. So it happened about 18 months, 2 years. We worked on it together. And he spent beyond belief the amount of hours. He edited a doco 1,000 times. And much to the demise of myself, I've only watched it 3 times. He's watched it 1,000 times. My wife, Sheensy, she's watched it about 50 times. She helped produce it. And much to my delight, everyone's blown away by it. Everyone's absolutely gobsmacked by it. I knew it was a good doco, but mind you, I favouritize it because it's myself, obviously.
Yep.
So I really rely on other people's opinions, and the opinion I get is unbelievable.
Mm. And like I know some different people that are close to you as well, and some of the stuff in there, no one knew.
Yeah, I know.
Like it was real raw, hey.
I know. I've had every man his dog saying to me, I knew about the accident, and every single person who knows me knows about my accident, but they can't believe what actually happened. They watch it, go, oh my God, I had no idea how serious it was and how bad you were, how bad a condition you were.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be alive today. If you were, you should be a zombie.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it was. I was pretty much a vegetable for about 2 weeks in Detroit. Couldn't get a word out of me, and dribbling mess, and my wife, she stuck by me, and she, I say to her quite often, how do you not think that that's how it was going to be forever? To me, that's how I think it would be forever, because after 2 weeks,
Yep.
being a bit of a slob,
Yeah.
it's a good story.
Yeah, mate. The whole movie, Matt, was. Yeah,
Thank you.
Every part, from. Yeah, take away the accident part, the whole thing, just some of it was so raw, And, yeah.
I know the amount of guys, grown men saying to me, "Buggy you, Mingay." I said, "What was that?" I got all teary.
Mate, I bet you there'd be 90% at least.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, mate. And nearly
Yep.
every single female I've watched it told me they pulled their eyes out. So, it's really hits the spot for so many people. Over complete utter strangers have no idea my story one
Yep.
little bit, and they watch it and they get all teary. They cry about it. So, to me, it's hit home to so many people. It hit home to myself, and I'm very proud of it.
Yeah, and the good part is it's a positive story.
Yeah,
Like it's not. There's bounce back. You've come back. As well. So that's,
absolutely. It's not bounce back. It's not I don't like bounce back stories. They're great. Don't get me wrong. But this is not a bounce back story. This is through a whole lot of hard work. A lot of torment. A lot of I can't even think of the word. It's very, very hard work what I had to do.
Yeah.
I can't settle one little bit for anyone that gives me the word. You can't do that, like I said.
Yeah.
And the doctors tell me nothing but negative reports saying you can't ride again, you can't do this again, you can't do that again. They even took my license off me, my driver's license.
Yeah.
Told me
How long was that for?
it was.
The driver's license. Do they take
Depends who's asking.
Fair enough. A week.
No,
Yeah.
they took it off me indefinitely.
They did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took me indefinitely. And I had to go through a course to get
Yeah.
it back in.
Yeah.
The course was a brain course because of my brain injury.
Mm-hmm.
It was very hard, don't get me wrong. It was like going back to school again.
Yeah.
And I got it back, thank God.
Mm.
I only got it back about 2 or 3 weeks after I lost it. I thought it was about 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
But there's no one how I could go survive without driving on the road.
The trouble is with it, and I spoke to you before this, I've got a personal family member that's gone through a similar sort of thing, and some of the tests they put you through are probably tests you couldn't pass before you had the brain injury.
Mate,
That's what I looked at.
You were dead right at 100% right. Off topic, CAMS racing license. To get my CAMS, they took my CAMS license off. CAMS stands for Confederation of Australian Motorsport.
Yep.
Every single car racer in Australia runs a CAMS license. They took it off me. Now to get it back again, they told me I had to go through I can't remember the word for it, a brain test.
Yeah.
I did a brain test, and it was beyond belief what they were testing me on. I ran the same type of questions past so many of my friends, and they failed drastically.
Yeah.
The memories is just crazy. Oh, I can't believe it. It's like going to year 12 again.
Yeah. And a lot of it is completely irrelevant.
Oh, completely irrelevant. I'm going to say that because it's just stupid.
Yeah. And that's, I looked at it when we've been through this process, and it makes the person that's had an injury feel even
bad.
worse.
I know, exactly right.
Which it shouldn't be, because
You're
I look
dead
at it
right.
and I can't do this.
You're dead right.
And I don't understand why they do it that way.
I know it's probably off topic a little bit, but the father test person told me a story for about 1 minute of a person hopped out of a car, hopped out of a shopping centre, walked down such and such street at 5:55 p.m, hopped in the car, all this big story about a minute, and then I would tell the story back again. I'm like, what was the name of the street? What was the name of it? What time was it? What type of car was it? What gear was in?
Yep.
And I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah. I wouldn't know that before.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy.
Half of it you look at and just think, mate, this is, I don't know why it's like that, especially now where there's science in it, there's actual
You
science.
did right. If you fail, don't do well, you think you're doing bad.
Yep. Yeah.
And I run past many of my friends who are completely nothing wrong with them one little bit,
Yep.
and they fail worse than I do.
Wow.
And
Yeah, and every person. I reckon that'd be the same for every single person, and I don't know why.
it's
not better.
It's horrible, but never mind.
What do you feel when you ride a bike? Like you've done it for so long, you've got such a good skill set. What do you actually feel? Like, do you?
What do I feel? It's a good question. Depends what a motorbike or a stunt bike.
Stunt. Yeah.
Stunt. Oh, look, to be honest, I don't want to do it, but when I'm doing it, I enjoy it.
Wow.
I've been doing it for 24 years, and it's a job. It's not done in the office. So to me, when I'm working every single weekend, and every single weekend is stunt riding, when it comes to weekend off, someone goes, oh, do you want to go for a practice? No, God, no. I want to touch my bike with a 40-foot pole.
Yep.
So when it comes to doing a show, I don't really want to. I do it for my fans. I love my fan base. I absolutely love them to death. And the event promoter and the fans, all my friends and family. When I'm actually doing it, I'm enjoying myself, having a great time. But I don't really want to do it when I start with. So bit of a catch-22. But a mixed bag of emotions. But don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it. I'm getting on a bit.
Yep. It's and what about the actual feeling of riding? Like, I look what you do. I ride bikes. I can't do what you do. You must just have some feel. I don't know. Like, what is it like? Same with the cars and that. What's the?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. It's another day in the office, like I said.
Yeah. Second nature.
Exactly right. Second nature. I've been doing it for so many years. Like I remember I was in hospital for 13 weeks for my accident.
Yeah.
And I was dying to get out, as you can imagine. I was rewind a bit. I was in hospital for 10 weeks, dying to get out. And before I got out, they said to me, "Oh, before you go out, we'll release you. Before you go out, we'll give you a brain examination, a scan. I scanned it, and really half my brain was blood."
Wow.
On my head. So they raced me for emergency brain surgery and took a big hole out of my skull and scooped out all the blood and put me back together again. So I was in hospital again for another 3 weeks. So that wasn't good.
No.
Now, I'd dying to get out, as you can imagine. I'd been there for 13 weeks. And I was out for about 3 days, and my wife saw me tinkering outside. She said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting my stunt bike on back in my ute." "What for?" "I'm going riding." She said, "No, you're not." I said, "Oh, I am trying to stop me."
Yeah.
And she had no will. She couldn't do it. So I put my stunt bike in the back of my ute and went for a ride with her, of course. Now, I took it very easily. As you imagine, being in hospital for so long, with brain injuries and my right hand side being down and out, and I crashed.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I crashed.
Yeah.
Took a lot of skin on my knees, and she called it quit. She called it quits. So I was off the bike again in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
But apart from that, I'll go back on again a couple of weeks later. I was good as gold.
Yep.
And it's got better and better and better and better. It took about a year to get back on track for the brain to get complete with it.
Yeah.
Brains take a long time to heal, as you probably know yourself. Yeah. To me, I've broken 42 bones in my career. So to me, breaking a bone, it's not until it's fixed, you're better. You're back on the road again. So maybe 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, you're back on the road again. The brain's completely different. It takes years to heal. So as I said, it took me about a year, got better and better. I do more and more tricks, and to the point where I can just about ride my Harley just about the same as what I did before I had my injury. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Wow. Do you think more now?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I appreciate life a lot more.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate my family a whole lot more. My little girl,
Yeah.
Sally Danger, my little boy, Magic Evil. I cherish the time I've got with them. I live every day to try and keep them happy.
Yeah. I can only imagine what you've been.
Yeah.
You've all been through. With it. So
Yeah.
have a Madsy part of your show. Must be cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I love the little bugger. He's getting so damn good and so damn talented.
Yeah.
We did 4 Dive Expo on the weekend, and before that we're at Cessnock Air Show. So on the weekend just gone, he was in his little mini super truck,
Yeah.
racing me truck against truck. I hate saying it, but once a little area, he beats me, he flogs me.
Wow.
And for a little kid, on a little 13-year-old kid on a little truck, it's very disheartening. And people think I'm going easy. I'm not going easy. By no means am I going easy. I was going easy to start with, but not anymore. I go hard. Put it this way. On the weekend, it was wet because it's been raining up here for so long. I hit the wall twice on both sides of my truck. So both rear corners of my truck had completely gone.
Wow.
And I was just trying to beat the little bugger. And before that, weekend before that, I was in his drift car.
Yep.
He's got a little Aussie Legend drift car with a XR 1300 engine in it.
Awesome.
And we do a little mini gymkhana
on
bitumen. And he absolutely hoses me in that.
Really?
Oh, hoses me. I try and cheat my ass off and drop the tyre pressure right down and raise his tyre pressure right up so he gets less traction and even more traction. And because it's such a small area, we're only in first gear, doing donuts and doing a little slalom course, in his little car, he flogs me, hoses me.
It's pretty cool, hey?
It is a good feeling. It is a good feeling. I challenge him all the time, upgrade and get a bigger car so there's more competition.
yeah, it's coming.
But being my son, it's a good feeling.
For sure.
If it wasn't my son, I'd be pretty pissed off.
You're pretty pissed, yeah, for sure.
But being my son, I'm very proud of him, that's for sure.
I say it with Troy Bayliss. So Troy Bayliss has got his son Ollie.
Yep.
Ollie's racing the Superbike for Ducati, and Ollie's 17, about to turn 18.
Yeah, wow.
And I look at the skills that he's got at that age now, and Troy started later, and I'm like, Ollie's the level up here. Same with
exactly
like Mazzy as well. It's the same deal. It's like it's a huge opportunity for him, and it's the skills. If they want to do it and the skills are there, it's pretty damn cool. Isn't it?
I didn't start doing what I did until I was about 24 or 23.
It's a big difference, hey?
Big difference.
And I think that's about the same with Troy as well. Obviously, he raced dirt bikes and stuff, but I think the superbike stuff was a bit later. And
the problem is, I think I'm good friends with Troy, but I think it's the same. He'd have the same point of view as me. With my little boy, and Ollie is probably the same in the way that they're born and bred into it. They're born into it. They knew the whole deal.
Yep.
excuse my language, but kiss on dick in the way of having every single imaginable toy from the get-go, from the very early age. My little boy, from the age of far out, he got his first dirt bike when he was 1 year old, got his P50, he got a CRF 50 when he was 3, and rode a bike for the first time with no train wheels when he was 3 years old.
Yeah.
And he's had motorbikes and drift cars and jump trucks and Polaris ever since he was born. And to him, it's just normal. It's just normal, everyday thing. I even tell him, "Oh, you tell your mates at school what you did?" He said, "Nah." I said, "What do you mean? You've been in Darwin for the last week, Darwin Supercars, doing 12 shows in your drift car, flawlessly, went through 4 tyres, doing burnouts and donuts and drifting. It's like, you didn't tell your mates at school where you've been for last week?" He's like, "Nah, I didn't." I was like, when I was a kid, try shut me up, eh? Try, it wouldn't be possible.
There's 1.2 million people of reach watching you in the last year. You know, like what you're saying with your stats. He's there as well.
Yep.
And, yeah.
He's a very humble kid because he does so much stuff in drift cars, jump trucks and stunt bikes all around Australia. Goes to Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, Darwin, Sydney. There's all his events. He doesn't tell the kids at school where he's been.
Wow.
I was like, he's got more followers on his Instagram than anyone in his whole school. And he doesn't even tell anyone.
Yeah. It's just humble.
Just very humble.
You're saying about opportunity, like with Ollie and obviously Madsy, but they've still got to want it, hey? You know, there's so much to chuck it to someone and say, because people, I've seen it with others, oh, he's had the opportunity to do this and that. It's like, well, they've still got to want it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not everything comes easy. You know?
Mate, absolutely. Well, same take on what I just said. My little boys who want it. It's come to the point the last probably 2 years, I've stopped telling Madsy, my little boy, we're going for a practice on your stunt bike or going for a practice on your drift car.
Yep.
And I go 2 or 3 or 4 weeks without saying that, and he'll bring it up. I say, well, there you go, mate. You haven't asked me to go on your drift car or your jump truck or bike for over a month. Yeah. I'm not ever going to bring it up again until you want it. Because you don't never, ever want it. You never want you to do it when I tell you to. Yeah. I'll quit telling you. I won't tell you anymore.
And you'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
How did Sheena come part of the fold? Obviously, like it's a big business, like as in on the go, 7 days a week. Like that's a huge thing to undertake as well, I'm guessing. Hey?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. She's been an absolute godsend. She's been team manager for many years.
Yep.
I met her through my sponsor, Jetpilot. She worked at Jetpilot.
Oh, wow.
She worked at Jetpilot for 10 years.
Yeah.
Straight. And it wasn't until I got busier and busier and busier that she quit and started working for me full time.
Yep.
At the end, she was doing both, working for me and Jetpilot, so it got a bit too much for her.
Yep.
And then she just kind of taken the reins big time, the way of all the computer work and dealing with sponsors and dealing with promoters and dealing with fans, and she's an absolute godsend. I'd be doomed without her now.
Yep.
And it's taken a whole lot of weight off my shoulders because back in the day I used to do everything myself. But now she's great. She's great guns, and she's smoking hot too.
You got everything. It's funny. It's your wedding. That's pretty cool, mate.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool video, eh?
It is, mate. Well, my wedding is a great wedding. Well,
yeah.
Those who haven't seen, we snuck away to Vegas.
Yeah. Myself
and 6 mates, and got married by a midget, a dwarf Elvis impersonator.
Yeah.
And it was pretty funny. We hired a film guy to come and film the whole lot.
Yep.
And as you can imagine, we had an absolute ball doing it. And at the time, it was kind of frowned upon. We didn't tell anyone, but it was frowned upon when everyone found out that we snuck away.
So that was Prophet's little secret, the whole.
Yeah, very much secret the whole time. Yep. Even when we got married, then we let family and friends know we got married. It wasn't until everyone saw the video clip on YouTube that they lost their mind. Thought it was the best ever, and commended us for it. They said, "Oh, you're right. You're dead right. You guys had an absolute ball over there." It wasn't until our new neighbour, who become friends with, she's rang us up and said, you wouldn't believe it, but my best friend who wants to get married, and she showed me a YouTube clip what she wants to do, and it was you guys.
Wow.
So that's how much she's getting out. So she goes, that's my neighbours. That's crazy.
Yeah,
it was good.
And not related to the sport or anything at all.
None
Just,
at all.
just people watching something
Just
on YouTube.
watching people, complete strangers watching it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was very, very, very good feeling.
The what's it like to drive a stadium truck?
Yeah, it's a whole new world. It's
Like to race one must be like that first race, Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide. Yep.
What, are they fun to drive?
Oh my, absolute baller. To a car racer,
Yeah.
to a group racer, they're not very fun because they're so loose.
Right.
But to me, I'm a drifter. I'm used to hanging out sideways, not having any traction on with one little bit.
Yeah.
And I was jumping trucks before they came to Australia. So to me, I was all went hand in hand, jumping and drifting. But to battle out with 12 or 30 other drift SSCs on track at the same time is pretty full on. Great fun. I had a ball doing it. It wasn't one time I come in from doing a practice or a race with a straight truck. It was always damaged from banging into opponents. I had an absolute ball. It was great fun.
That's Robbie Gordon's baby, hey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Robbie Gordon's a great friend, a great owner of SSCs. He owns something like 30 of them.
Wow.
He owns all of them. You can't buy one.
Really?
No.
Oh, so they're leased over the weekend.
So they're leased. Every single one's leased. You can't buy one.
Yep.
So it's very much a case of high go-karts. You get what you're given.
Yep.
So if you're given a piece of crap, you got to deal with it.
Right.
You can't. If you whinge and whine with sickle moan so much, he'll actually change his truck for your truck.
Yep.
Because he's such a good guy.
Wow.
But the funny thing is, he's done it so many times, and then proves to everyone there's nothing wrong with that truck.
Yeah.
And he wins the race in a damn truck. So that's prevented so many people from doing it.
It's good.
You don't want to make a dick of yourself.
No, that's it. And that keeps the dickheads out of the sport.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're around.
Exactly.
Paul Morris.
Yes.
He must do a lot for our, like, behind the scenes for our sport. He does a lot, eh?
He's great. He's a great guy. He's a loose unit.
Yeah.
He'll give everything a go. He's a really good friend or a good guy. I remember back in 2012 or 13,
Yep.
I was doing shows in my super truck all around Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Was racing out of him and came to Australia. And I was in Sydney at Homebush.
Mm-hmm.
And I took him for a drive in my truck for the very first time, did a big jump into Australia for the news.
Right.
And he was in the air screaming at the top of his voice. Ah! He absolutely loved it. You do it again. So we turned around and did it again. He couldn't believe it. He was just pumped over the moon.
Yeah.
And come 4 years later, he won the world championship in SSE racing.
Wow.
Yeah, so
It's quite a way to come.
It's also made come. I feel very proud to the very first jump. I got him hooked.
Yeah.
Got him hooked on the sport.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. He travelled the world doing SSC racing and won the world championship.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah, it was good.
He's as far as I'm concerned, like I follow the sport very closely, and
Yep.
he just does so much behind the scenes for a lot of people. It
He
just
does.
doesn't get
Recognition.
He doesn't care. Yeah, recognition.
Yeah, he does.
Obviously
No, he
doesn't
does.
care, but it's
He does great things for the sport, but he's so tied up in so many different sports.
Yep.
So many different motorsport
Yep.
of their cigars and tin top racing. And him and Nathan Kaiser do so much so well for the sport. And they've actually taken SSE racing by the horns and tackled it in Australia. Unfortunately, Robbie Gordon and the whole American crew can't come to Australia because of COVID.
Yep.
Hopefully that won't last all year. We're hoping they'll be back by Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of, as much as everyone doesn't really know all the American races, we do.
Yep.
And it's usually a field of 12 drivers, and it's usually 6 Americans, 6 Australians.
Yep.
And the 6 Australians are invite only. Because as you can imagine, every single man's dog is putting a hand up the drive on.
Everyone will want one.
Everyone.
Yep.
So it's hand-picked who's the driver, like Toby Price and Paul Wheel and Paul Morris, and so it's hand-picked who's of who racing. And the good thing about it is it's not all their Supercar drivers. Like Toby Price is a Dakar winner.
Yep.
Paul Wheel's a truck driver. Paul Morris is a supercar driver. I'm a stuntman.
Yeah. It's a bit of a difference, eh?
Yeah, so different. It's so different. It's a different kettle of fish in every aspect, and makes us very proud to do it.
There's a tie-in with Live, the music band, somewhere.
Yeah, Live is run by not a lot run, but managed by a guy called Bill Hines.
That's who it is, yeah.
Bill Hines is an American guy.
Yeah.
He does every SSC race. He's a great guy. He's in my doco.
Yeah.
He's one of the best guys around.
So is that the tie-in? He's the manager of Live?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the supercars in 16 Live in Adelaide.
Yep.
Live played.
Yep.
You were there.
Yep.
Obviously, and yeah, that was. I remember seeing all the live stuff and then the band being there. I'm like, there must be some tie-in to it somewhere.
Yeah, it's Bill Hines.
Yeah, cool.
He's become a very good close friend of myself and Sheensy's, my wife, and we talk to him all the time. And if we ever go to America, we stay with him, and he's a great guy.
What's the like? You're obviously a Gold Coast guy. What I've been to a lot of your events. You always had a good show at the Gold Coast.
Yeah, Gold Coast, you can't do it.
Yeah, there's been some good times there, I guess.
Absolutely, mate. We've done Indy, Gold Coast, for far out 22 years straight.
Serious?
No, except apart from last year, COVID, but 22 years straight. I've not missed one time they've been on.
Wow.
And it's going back to the old Indy days, as you probably remember.
Good times.
Full on.
Yeah.
Full on with a capital F. Full on. It was mental. How unfortunate we are to lose those good times.
Yeah, the world's changed, eh?
It certainly has, mate. Well, I try and tell, I suppose my fans and friends get sick of me telling the same stories about old Indy days.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was awesome. Going down every afternoon between all the highways, staring up, having strip-off shows between two balconies and beers getting thrown everywhere. And it was just full on.
It's like what happened to us sometimes. I look at different things now, Bathurst a little bit, these things, and you're like, what happened?
Oh, no, it's just, unfortunately, the world has turned sour.
Yeah.
And it's run by a bunch of straight-laced hobnobs, and it's very disappointing.
It is. I can see there's got to be professionalism in sport, but there's still got to be a good time outside of it.
100%.
You know?
Dead right. I mean, those good times are gone. Back in the day, or Indy days, was the dress code was bikinis and board shorts and singlet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was so good. This day and age is run by collar shirts, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I think you may say everyone's chasing the money, but there's certainly money around in bikinis.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
There's a lot of money floating around back then.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. The crowd difference, the crowd numbers are chalk and cheese between how the crowd used to go the Indy days to what it is now.
It was like an American race. Obviously when Indy was here, but even for the first few years of the Gold Coast 600, the supercars, the helicopters flying around, and it was like a glitzy race. It had a good vibe to it.
Yeah, well, it's unreal. One of my most favourite shots was the Army helicopter.
That's cool.
Helicopter holding a sign out to a balcony. Do you remember that?
I do.
So was intense. That was gold. I saw that on the news.
Yeah.
Cracked up laughing, but how bad was it? But
that was the beginning of the end.
Oh, it was. It was the beginning of the end. It was frowned upon by every man and his dog and every hobnob and his dog. To us, we cracked up laughing. Thought it was the best ever.
90% of the audience did.
I know, but everyone keeps quiet about it, unfortunately. Yep. And listens to all the straight-laced people. It's
such a shame because that was. I remember the sign. I remember it happening. I think it even made the paper.
It did. It made the paper big time.
It just dried up, And I think this year, well, it was going to be last year, but COVID. I think they're doing the under lights this year.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
I think I can't remember. I think is it 20th year or 25th year of
supercar
of Indy or racing on Gold Coast.
Yeah, right.
It was supposed to be last year, but it's next year. It could be the 30th year. Probably 30th year.
Could be, yeah.
Well, much of supercars credit, they've taken on board what everyone said about Indy, or also about Gold Coast.
Yeah.
And so it needs to go back in the old days. So they've taken away the whole child and kid aspect of supercars, and I see it more towards putting more bars back in again, and more because they took all the bars out.
Yeah.
And they put the bars back in again.
Took all the entertainment away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put the bars back in again and, put some fun back in it again. So much to their credit, they listened and they've come a long way.
Which is a great thing. Like, I feel
Yeah.
maybe not every round, but certain ones that, like the Gold Coast is a party place. You know, it's got to be a party place.
Gold Coast is great. Gold Coast is my home. And so my fan base here is massive.
Yeah.
So come Gold Coast, I've actually got to hide in my trailer the whole time.
Wow.
I show my face, got bombarded by people signing autographs, signing shirts and bras and
It wouldn't stop, eh?
Yeah, so it was great. I don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love doing it, and my fan base here, we did without them. We do without them, and but yeah, certainly busy weekend.
Has that, like, post injury, has that come harder? Like, I guess you're swamped everywhere, eh? I'm guessing.
Post injury, yeah, certainly made my profile go up through the roof.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single man's dog heard about it and knew I was struggling big time, and really tried to reach out. And my biggest thing I felt was showing my face like at Gold Coast, which was 4 months after my accident.
Yeah.
Every man's dog saying, "Oh, you're right. Are you right? Are you right now? Are you right?" I see saying, "Yes." Oh man, heard about injury. Are you right? Sick of that type deal. But I know everyone's intrigued by it and more so heartfelt. So I didn't make any reaction to it.
Yeah.
You just kind of got a bit much there. So even today, I get complete strangers who haven't seen me for 4 years. So I mean, I heard about the accident. Are you right?
Yeah.
I felt like going, no, I'm not.
Yeah. What do you say? You know,
I know,
as well.
I know. What do you say?
There's people. I guess everyone's got your best interest at heart. It's not coming from a bad place, but
exactly. That's why I never make a terrible reaction to it. Like, hey, good mate. Yeah, good. Oh, I'm doing great.
Yeah. And you're one guy with all these. There's a lot of other people coming, and you know, it must be hard, you know, because you're trying to live it. You know?
Absolutely, mate. I mean, if I told the truth, someone goes, "Oh, you're right." If I said what I've been going through, they would probably think to themselves, "My God, why did I ask that question?" Because there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. What meets the eye.
Sure. Are you still doing rehab?
Nah, gave up rehab 4 years ago.
Yep. So I see you at Elevate.
Yep.
That's the Whittaker guys.
Luke
Whittaker.
Yep. Yeah. So I much of my physio's demise. I don't bag physio one little bit. Don't get me wrong. But physio is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've like I said, I've broken 42 bones in my career. I've broken my back, my neck, compound fractured my leg twice. God, every other bone, right? So physio for me, I kind of know what to do. And physio for me is so disheartening because it's so lame. I'd rather go to a CrossFit or go to the gym because I kind of know what to do, know how to push my extremes to the maximum, get the most out of myself. Physio doesn't.
Yeah.
I've tried things like acupuncture. What are the containers where you hop in and it goes there?
Oh, like
compression. Yeah, cryo chambers.
Cryotherapy chamber.
That. Did that for about 10 goes, 12 goes.
Oh, really?
Don't get me wrong, it probably worked.
Yeah.
Probably did work. You can't tell.
Yeah.
We tried everything.
Yeah.
To me, the best thing that I can do is go to Elevate and go to CrossFit training.
Yeah.
I train 7 days a week. Unfortunately, I got to these days. I'm getting old.
Right.
And I'm trying to keep young and do what I do on a Harley Davidson. So I ran a Harley, 250 kilo Harley, which you know yourself, pretty heavyweight.
Pretty heavy thing, yeah.
And doing that every weekend and jumping in my truck every weekend and drifting a car, it takes it out of you. And the older you get, the harder it gets.
And like you notice, take away the accident and all that stuff.
Yep.
Have you like even before that, did you notice you were starting to get older?
I did, yeah.
It was starting to happen?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I go easy, if I get lame, I'm training for like a month.
Yep.
I ride my Harley or do a SSC race, truck race. I know about it. I
really?
know about it afterwards.
Yep.
But if I train, I don't know about it.
You would Elevate for a fair while too, eh?
Still, yeah, I've been there for far out, 6-7 years.
Yep. Wow.
And Luke Whittaker's great. He does unbelievable classes.
Yep.
And I get a quote off him.
It's good, mate.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's obviously, you know, good long term for everything else.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like I said, I miss it for like 2 days. I do an event for 3 days. So I miss the training for 3 days, and I just can't wait to get back in the gym again and train.
Wow.
It's a good feeling.
What's one of your best supercar times you've had over those years?
Oh, good question. Good question. You didn't prepare me for this.
Sorry, mate. I didn't actually give you anything.
No, I'm only joking.
I just jumped to that.
Best supercar, probably about one of the times at Adelaide or Darwin.
Yep.
Or F1. There's just so many funny times.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some of the funniest times have been crashes.
Right.
Big ass crashes where I've managed to walk away. They've been the funniest ones. The funny one I can remember off the top of my head, I was performing in Adelaide on my Bandit 1200, doing massive big fast power slide, doing about 140 k's an hour power slide, and I high sided.
Wow.
And I high slide and slid for like 150, 200 metres down the track, dead down the track. And I did my usual. I quickly did from toes to feet, just making sure everything wobbles and moves.
Systems check.
Yeah, double check.
Yep.
I was good to go.
Yep.
I ran over the bike of the crowd, about 40,000 people going bananas for it because I ran. I was good to go.
Yep.
I G'd the crowd up and saw my bike lying on the side, and as a joke, I did a wrestling move.
Yeah.
Dropped an elbow into my bike as I was down.
Yep.
What happened, I dropped my elbow into the bike, my elbow hit the engine, and I snapped my elbow.
Oh, no. Seriously?
I snapped my elbow. I got too cocky. I just landed on the wrong part, wrong angle.
Gone.
And I felt my elbow pop, and I jumped back on while the general was kicking in, hopped back on somebody and waved to the crowd and rode back to the pits. And
Oh, man.
and everyone thought I broke my elbow in the crash.
Yeah.
Wasn't until like a week or two later I started telling everyone what really happened.
It was from the wrestling move. Have you ever done it again?
No, never. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. At the time, it was because of my crash, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was my wrestling move.
Oh, what a bastard. Man, some of those years, like if you look at there's 17 events in a year for supercars, whatever it is, 20 years and doing it.
Yeah.
Gee, it's a long time.
Yeah, mate, a lot of time, lot of tyres, gone through a lot of parts, broken bones and car injuries and bike injuries. And, yeah, it certainly mounts up. If I had a camera following me around for those years, it would make a hell of a series.
It would.
Hell of a series. People wouldn't believe it. The stories I tell people don't believe it, or they're blown away. One of the two.
Even take away the event, the journey to the event, the things that have happened on the way, and that I'm guessing there's stuff, miles of things. MotoGP, you were there for a long time too, eh?
Yeah, I went there for 12 years, I think. 12 years, 30 years.
Obviously, they tightened things up to what they were doing with their path, but were they good times?
Mate, absolutely. We had a board doing it. That was back in the day when I throw a stunt bike in the back of my highest van and venture off.
Right.
No trailer, no trucks, no nothing. Just throw my leathers and pile of slicks and a change of clothes and
off you go.
Off I go. And we just had an absolute ball. We'd have parties every single night. Wake up in the morning as hungover as 10 men. Hop on the bike and do a first stunt show and hangover go away because of the adrenaline rush.
Yep.
And wait for the afternoons, get back on it again and go again.
It was cool to watch, eh?
Oh, mate, it was good times. And people wonder what the routine was. That was not a routine. We just go out there and bust crazy shit and just do crazy moves. And
who'd you have at the time then with you? You had
MotoGP. I was by myself.
From a bit, okay.
Well, performing with me was Alan Morrison and Lukey Luke.
Yeah.
And when I first started, there was Josh Haas from France and Gay Rothwell from England.
Wow.
And they even had Craig Jones from England come over. So they flew sunrise over from England and France because there was no one in Australia. I was the only person in Australia. Bowles did it 1 year and they got banned.
Why?
Oh, long story.
Okay, we won't go into that. It's best not to go in that. Oh, I could only imagine. But it was a good event too.
Yeah, it was.
Some of those.
Good, great time. Unfortunately, we didn't get long in the tooth. Just the problem with being is that their time schedule was timed up.
It's a TV show, isn't it?
Yeah, back in the day, we'd have 5-6 outings per day for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then it got to 4, 3, then it got to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And two 5-minute shows a day because the schedule was getting so tight, and they throw an extra support category in.
Yeah.
Got to the point where we just weren't hired because there was no time for us.
Yep.
Simple as that.
It's it's a shame. Like it's a damn premium event too.
Met a crowd and punters say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
They said, I absolutely love watching us. But unfortunately, the event promoters will take the money for their extra support category over some crowd entertainment.
That's right.
That's the way it works.
When you went to the Harley, was that a huge change? Like it's a pretty
Massive
heavy bike
change.
compared. Was it a big thing to learn?
Yeah, massive change. I was riding my CBR 600 at the time.
And the F4i?
No, never
did that far?
Never did that far. I found every managed jogger at F4i. So
Pretty common, eh?
I hate that fact.
Yep.
Always want to do something different. Hence the Harley, for example. And I saw Jason Puller from America on his Harley. He's the only guy in the whole world doing something like Harley, and I realised it could be done. So I hit up Harley. I already had a relationship with Harley because they sponsored a couple of V-Rods.
Right.
To wheels on big burners and V-Rods. So I already had a relationship. So I hit him up and said to him, I can do stunts on Harley. They said, no, you can't. I said, yes, I can. So they lent me a sporty NYSA 1200 for a weekend. Bog stock.
Yep.
Bog stock. Couldn't get any stocker. And I went and I practiced through mountains and all the back streets of industrial areas and all wheel stands and I was scraping the light and go back to them with scraped light, tail light, mudguard, and said, I can do it. Give me one.
Wow.
And that was in 90. That was in 07, I think it was.
Damn.
Yeah, and it just grew and grew and grew. And at the time, it was only me and Jason Pullen were the only guys in the whole world still riding a Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
And it just grew and grew and grew and grew and to the point where there's hundreds of thousands of guys doing wheel stands and stunts on Harleys now.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was the only guy for a whole Australia doing stunts on Harley for 10 years.
It's huge, mate. Eh?
Yeah, so I was very proud of that.
And you know, I feel you're probably not going to say it yourself, but the whole stunt scene has improved because of you. Yeah. Like, you know, Harley's one part, but the whole time it's evolved.
Yeah, no, it's a very long subject. I've tried to stay involved with the whole stunt scene.
Yeah.
And give my 2 cents worth where it's included in the topic. And I made my own stunt comps and my stunt schools and days out at the Queensland Raceway. I did a massive big XSC stunt competition down at Gold Coast in 2008.
Yeah.
Well, I was still my Honda. And I try to be involved with it. Most of Australia recognised me as the only guy who approved stunt riders. So I was approval for stunt riding, for insurance use on MA for many years. Yeah, so I like to say I like to do with it.
Getting it linked with Ken.
Yep.
Obviously with the utes and stuff.
High Talk.
Yeah, High Talk Performance, probably one of the better performance shops around.
Best one around, my dude.
Easy?
Oh,
Yeah.
High Talk is the biggest and best in the whole of Queensland, easily by far.
Like the cars they're putting out.
It's just full on.
It is.
Full on.
Yeah. What? That must be pretty big, hey? Like obviously getting him driving as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, High Talk came on board with me and Bolger, far out. This is going back many years ago, 15 years ago. And they come on as a sponsor for us. And he started doing the odd driving for Bolger.
Right.
And Bolger couldn't make it.
Yeah.
He got more and more and more. And then Bolger got, what's the word for it? What's the polite word for it? Done by the cops.
Get caught.
Good.
Done, whatever.
Yeah. And so Kent took his place. And best move ever because he's unbelievable help. Yep. He knows my Camaro with the NASCAR engine like the back of his hand. So if anything ever goes wrong, he is there to fix it straight away.
Yeah.
Same with High Talk. Every time I do a big event, or a few big events, I drop the Camaro in and they give it a full service and check over. And
wow.
And he just builds his drift cars beyond belief.
That Camaro must be a dream car.
My Camaro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
NASCAR engine Camaro.
So NASCAR engine and Albin's transaxle rear end. So same gearbox as the V8 supercar. So in the gearbox, so in the diff area is the gearbox, the alternator, the starter motor, the clutch, everything up the back. So it's nearly 50-50. It's the only drift car in the world that runs a transaxle rear end.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty full on. The average punter, not average punter, the occasional punter that goes for a passenger ride for me, I'm blown away. I can't believe what we just did, and we on average we get 1, maybe 2 laps set of brand new Max Trick tyres.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we go through, both Kent and I, we go through about 250 tyres a year.
You enjoy the car stuff?
I love car stuff.
Yeah.
I love the car stuff. It's funny because my motto in life, when I was a major stunt rider, is with age comes a cage. Right? How wrong was I? Well,
You're still doing both.
yeah, but hang on. With age comes a cage. So the older you get, safer you get, so you're wrapped up in a roll cage of a car. My accident in America, in Detroit, happened. I was wrapped up in a car and the biggest roll cage imaginable, and it killed me. And it wrecked me, and it put me in a coma, and gave me brain injuries, and put me in hospital for 13 weeks. Who would have thought? Everyone, I imagine, would have thought or done this on a motorbike, because that was just me. I did crazy stuff on a motorbike, and one day I was going to kill myself on a motorbike. How wrong was I? I nearly killed myself in a car.
You imagine all the people over the years, right from people you went to school with to family, friends, whatever, that would have said it'd be a bike.
I know, that's what I mean. Every single man is dog thought we're done on a bike.
Yep.
Even when I have mates, people go, "Oh, what bike was he on?" No, he's in a truck.
You get that?
Truck?
People ask you that?
Yeah, not ask me. They ask other people. Yeah,
mate. Those events, I seen you post it yesterday. There's stadium trucks that are coming. You going to get a drive?
I hope so.
Hope so.
Hope so. It's a very money-orientated sport.
Yeah, especially when you're saying like they're all owned by one. You got to lease them. You got to pay every weekend.
You got to lease them.
Yeah,
got to lease them. So it's big money to lease one.
Yep.
I got to give credit to Kaiser and Nathan Kaiser and Paul Morris, because they run a whole episode here in Australia. So there are a lot of rich kids that got to put their hand up to drive it.
Yep.
And can afford it. Even not rich kids, but people with big sponsors behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsors pay the buck. So I'm trying to. I'm trying very hard to. I got every fan and punter from places like Darwin and Townsville are begging me to race one, because they desperately want to see me race one in Darwin and Townsville, and Gold Coast, for example.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. Trust me, I'm trying.
They're some cool events. Townsville, Darwin, Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Putting those three together, having the trucks in there, that's pretty good.
They're the three I'm trying to do.
Mate.
They're racing in Perth.
Where's Perth? Is that Barbagello?
Yeah, Barbagello.
Yeah.
Perth, one in Tasmania.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And in New Zealand as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're islands I'm not really interested in doing, but I'll be at the Darwin, Townsville, and Gold Coast anyway, performing.
Yeah.
On my stunt bike and drift car.
That makes sense.
So the three is unheard of. No one in the world does what I do, doing three aspects of motorsport, which is stunt rider, Harley, drifter, Camaro, NASCAR, and drive a track all on the same day, multiple times.
Mate, not many people can just drive. So it's huge, but it makes sense to you that you're there anyway. Like
that's right.
It's the good rounds to be at.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a shame that Adelaide got canned?
I know.
It's a good event.
Adelaide took me on as one of the first events first VS supercars I ever did.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Hey, good guys down Adelaide. Yeah, it was a shame, eh? I have not missed one round of Adelaide since '99.
Holy crap!
99 was the first one I did.
It's a cool event. It's got like the Gold Coast feel to it.
Yeah, it's
good fun feel.
It's a huge event. Yeah. I've been an ex-Formula 1 event, and they lost Formula 1 to Melbourne.
Yeah.
But they lost no size. The same amount of crowd, same people would turn up for a VS supercar event, same track.
It's huge.
Yeah, it was huge. It was massive.
I've never been to a concert. The concerts at the night time after the event, like obviously all the people funnel through.
Yeah.
The Sunday night, I forget who it was. It was Cold Chisel Saturday and Live, I think. Sunday, I think, might have been Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. I was about to say my favourite one was Robbie Williams.
90,000 people.
Robbie Williams is a god to me.
What an entertainer, eh?
Oh, he's the best. He's so cool.
That was the Sunday night, hey?
Yeah, Sunday night, yeah.
90,000 people, they reckon,
was
crowded.
massive,
I've never been to something like in a tight space like that. 90,000. That's
yeah,
huge.
it was massive. It was so good.
He was good.
Love the man.
I can't imagine crowds like that at the moment.
Nah,
after these last few years,
Nah.
mate. I'll let you go. I can't express how much I appreciate you being here. It's huge, mate. I've followed followed your racing, like riding, stunt riding, and obviously racing the past years, so much. And yeah, thanks so much, mate. I can't express it enough.
Really appreciate kind words, and I love being here. I love doing it. I love the support's crazy of my fans and friends, which I don't even know about, half of them.
Yep.
And thank you so much for all your support, and plan on bigger and better things in the future too. So we're not don't hold me back. Here we go.
Hey, you've got so much ahead of you. So thank you so much, and
No worries.
catch you around.
Thanks, buddy.